Yo, what up, everybody? What's going on? Pastor Dixon here. Hoping everybody's having a wonderful day today. Not gonna tag anybody, but down here at Marion Square, wanted to stop by. Got a little something on the music in the background right now, but yeah, just wanted to stop and reach out to everybody. Things have just happened over the last few weeks that seem to have really reached a turning point in our nation. It's kind of amazing that this statue of John C. Calhoun in the city of Charleston in Marion Square, something that remained even after the murder of 9 churchgoers 5 years ago, a block away from it. Somehow that statue survived. But I guess to everything there's a season and there's a time for every purpose under heaven. And although the statue has not come down as of yet, there's some complications involved. It's coming down. It's coming down. And it's coming down because there are people who in this world, people in America, people like me who have believed for a long time that ultimately the roots of racism would be dug up. Although this is a symbolic gesture, a gesture that says, okay, the foundation on which this statue was built is racist, and that foundation will continue to stand. The symbol of oppression represented by John C. Calhoun will no longer be a fixture that the oppressed will have to look up to in Charleston anymore. And I think those who like to hold the mayor more accountable, Mayor Charleston more accountable than they do others, I'd like to thank him and his council for seizing the time, seizing a point in history where national sentiment said it's time for us to really address racism, seizing that time to dismantle a blatant and obvious symbol of racism that has stood tall over Charleston for 2 centuries. I applaud them. And I applaud the fact that before anybody raised any hands, before anybody got in the street, before it was any cussing up and all of that, like I see some of our young activists trying to say that it was what they did that moved it, and I'm not going to take any away from their activism. Don't necessarily support the way that they are active, but that's them. But it wasn't their actions that got the city and city government here to move. It was the heart of those in this city to say now is the time to change. You see, the actions that we see happening right now on the dismantling of this statue, those activities started weeks ago. The ball was put in place, the motion was put in place weeks ago to make this happen. The research was being done. Everything put in place. So by the time that the press conference happened last week on Wednesday, 5 years from the date of Mother Emanuel, that press conference announcing it, by the time that happened, all of the conversations had been had, all of the research had been done, and everybody that was associated with it, and the conversations actually at the microphone said, okay, we ready to go. We ready to go. So all the other shouting and carrying on and the defacing of it and all of that or whatever, it was already set in stone that monument it was time to go. Okay? So it wasn't all of that caused it to happen. Like I say, I don't care anything about whatever you got to do as far as your advocacy. That's you, okay? There's a right way and a wrong way that I believe in. But to you be your way and to me be mine. But the key is that when the press conference was held on Wednesday of last week, June 17th, 2020, 5 years after 9 churchgoers were murdered a block and a half from this statue. And the announcement was made, and there was unanimous consent, and that the vote would be taken the following Tuesday, which was yesterday. That vote was taken. That vote was still unanimous. And last night, the dismantling of this statue started, where people were really expecting it to be sometime afterward. I'm quite sure the young activist was like, yeah, we ready to go back down and let's raise Cain, because they got to tell us when. You see, when you deal with strategic moves, you think ahead. And strategically, they knew that would happen, so they put the ball in motion in order to start bringing the statue down before anybody had a chance to raise any Cain about when. But it's not down yet. And it's not down yet because as they were trying to dismantle this thing, they found out that within the column structure itself, whoever built this thing built it so that it couldn't be easily dismantled. And that they're going to need some special methods in order to bring it down. There's a message there, folks. This statue is a symbol of racism and white supremacy and hatred and oppression over black people in America. This statue that represents all of that, the roots of that are going to be so hard to dismantle that it's going to take work. This is not going to be an easy fight. This is not an easy fix. And it's not a fix that's going to happen by pulling down one statue or 20 statues or all of the statues. Why? Because racism resides in the heart, not in the concrete. But just as a symbol of that, we see now as the minds that deal with dismantling structures like that are now trying to figure out how to get through this thing in order to dismantle it. And that's exactly what we have to do with racism. We have to look deep. We have to strategize. We have to use the research and everything. We can't just go yell this thing down. We have to dismantle racism by dismantling the lack of education that should be available to all of our children, by ensuring that everybody has an economic stake in America by being able to be not only paid right, but represented on a job, by making sure that we have health care available for anybody that is sick. That's how we begin to take. But those are like that, whatever's inside of that column that's stopping them from removing Calhoun, all of those things that contribute to systemic racism are all the things that are going to have to be dismantled before we can actually get racism out of the way. Affordable and accessible housing is a part of it. Neighborhoods that have been neglected and are blighted because they don't have grocery stores available. The lack of public transportation, which is another aspect of systemic racism. All of these things have got to be addressed because all of these things make up that column that's supporting John C. Calhoun right now up at the top. Why we can't just pop him off and put him in a place somewhere. We have to fight through all of these other issues in order to get rid of racism, to dismantle racism once and for all. So I just wanted to jump on right quick and to talk about it. I see a few of my friends down here. I had a conversation with the lady from Blexit because I guess I just look like that conversation guy. But of course, she was just barking up the wrong tree because I ain't down with that Trump thing and ain't gonna be. You can't tell me enough about to change my mind. So I told her that, but she still wanted to talk. Yeah. To her be her way and to me be mine. I ain't mad at her. We left respectable. She said she had to get out the heat. I said, I like the heat. It's all good, you know. She ain't have on a mask, I had on a mask. It's all good, you know. So, listen, I hope everybody has a great day, a wonderful day. There are a lot of really good people down here who are having good conversations about the necessity of this moment in time. A time that's been long overdue, but it's happened. To everything, there's a season and there's a time for every purpose under heaven. This is the season, I pray, for real change in America, where everyone in America will be able to get up and know in their hearts that we are free at last. This is Pastor Dixon. To each and every one of you that's on here, and to each and every one of you who are thinking about the world we live in and are raising children in the world that we live in, I just want you to know that this is not a sprint. We're not going to just knock this statue over and it's over. No. There's work to be done, people. There's work to be done. And if all of us work together, white, black, red, brown, yellow, if all of us work together, understanding that shared oppression is oppression for all, then we really will overcome. We really will. As a community, as a collective, as a family. Listen, y'all have a great day. I got to get over to MUSC. Man, I got a group of pediatric interns. This is our second year doing this thing with them. And it's educating them on the community that they're going to be serving. You know, there are many physicians who don't understand the intricacies of the people they serve. You walk in and the doctor really don't understand the environment that you came in. They got you to the hospital. So MUSC last year, we went to the table and we talked about this thing, and we did the pilot run last year, talking to these new pediatric interns about the community that they're going to be serving, especially on the low end of North Charleston. And it was very well received, and it gave those interns an understanding that the children and the parents that they see will not necessarily be what they perceive based on their own history. And that until they actually embrace and empathize with the communities and the people that they're going to be seeing, they're going to be missing where the true transformative healing can occur at. And many times it'll run people away. So MUSC accepted the program and thought it was good last year. They decided to bring it back this year. So we got a new group of interns. I got part 2 coming up in a few minutes. And I just wanted to stop after visiting with the demolition, the dismantling, the undesirable John C. Calhoun down here. I'm praying that the next time I come down here, it'll just be a vacant spot where he was at. That's me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all take care. I love you all. Have a great day. Peace.